page optimization with links, there's a couple of attributes, characteristics, if you will, that I want to cover with you, just so that you kind of understand at least how I approach it. The first one is you want your links to be followable. That seems pretty obvious, right? Search engines find links throughout the internet, and they crawl them, and they'll go back to your site. That's how your site gets found in the first place. That's how your site gets indexed, different pages. That's how your site eventually ranks. Okay, static HTML links, that's what you want. Dynamic links, typically written in JavaScript, you don't want. Common thinking is the search engine spiders can't follow those. There is one other thing to consider with an HTML link. There is a Google tag, there's a tag, I should say it this way, there's a tag that the Google spider recognizes. It's called the nofollow tag. And you want to try to avoid links that have the nofollow tag. Now, those links will still work with MSN and Yahoo, okay? But Google is a little bit more difficult. So try to stay away from nofollow tags. Second thing you want to know about links, reputation. That doesn't mean like good reputation or bad reputation. That means, what are you trying to tell the search engine that your site is all about? If I want to rank for golf gifts, well, I might put some anchor text in with that static HTML link that says golf gifts, right? As it follows through, it's going to read golf gifts and go, okay, I think this site's about golf gifts or golf accessories or whatever it is I want to rank on. I'm going to tell the search engine as part of my reputation. Put it in the anchor text. And then the last thing has to do with what I call perceived quality. And this is really just a Google issue. I kind of think of the three search engines as having personas. And MSN, and I say this with no disrespect, I think of as a guy because, well, it's kind of simple, it's very direct, easy to manipulate. All right? But don't get me wrong, I like guys and I like MSN. I wish it was a bigger search engine. Easy to dominate, it really is. Okay, Yahoo, I think of Yahoo as like an old dog. Doesn't like to move around a whole lot. Likes the old faces. Sometimes hard to train to recognize the new faces. That's Yahoo. You can train it. Okay, a little bit more work involved. And then there's Google. And then there's Google. And Google is like a woman. Okay? She's hard to read. She almost never says what she really means, and she can change her mind in an instant. Okay? So, as I go along, you're going to find that I'm going to spend a lot more time talking about Google. Not because I like her, but because she's got the most traffic. And she's got the best traffic. We find that Google traffic converts the highest on our sites. No matter what marketplace we're in, that's where the money is. And most people know it. So there's a lot of focus out in the SEO world about Google. One, because it's harder. Two, because it's the gold mine. So, perceived quality, a Google thing. Okay, one-way links. This is what Google loves. One-way links. The guys who developed the algorithm were university students, right? Brilliant university students. But they have this very academia approach to what they do. And so they think, and remember when they wrote it, it was years ago, and of course that means dog years, decades ago. They think, still, that if a site is good and noble, everybody wants to link to it. Well, that's a nice thought. And certainly if you're an education site or a government site, well, that just happens naturally, doesn't it? But if you're in the world of e-commerce, how many of your competitors are going to link to you because they think you're nice? Not too many. So it makes our job, if you're in a commerce-related field on the internet, tougher. But understand that Google wants one-way links because they think they're better. You may hear a lot of comment about reciprocal linking is dead, reciprocal linking is bad. It's not so much that it's bad, it's just that Google filters the benefit of reciprocal linking. It actually expects you to do a little with like sites. something that's on subject or complementary. Okay, don't think you can never have a reciprocal link. Just realize that it's not going to be the mainstay of your linking strategy. And to get around some of this reciprocal linking badness, if you will, that's out there, a lot of people came up with these strategies where they said, I'll come up with 2 sites, my money site and this junky directory site, and I'll approach some other website owner and say, hey, if you link to my good site over here, I'll give you a link from this other directory over here. Isn't that a good deal for you? Well, oftentimes it wasn't a good deal for you right out of the chute. But beyond that, Google's very good at detecting what's called a tight linking circle. So it doesn't take long for Google to figure out that even with different IP addresses, perhaps site A and B are really related because they're always making these weird little triangular loop trades. So if you get approached by somebody who wants to do a 3-way link, just realize that the odds are, if not today, sometime soon, Google's going to figure out it's nothing more than a reciprocal link. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is link from whitelisted sites. You could call them authority sites. Some people can call them hub sites. Those are preferred. And one way you can kind of tell a whitelisted site is if it has a lot of PageRank, PR. I'm going to talk just a minute about PageRank because it's an important concept. PageRank, if you download the Google toolbar, it's on the Google toolbar. Maybe some of you already have that with, downloaded and it's in your browser. When you visit pages, part of that Google toolbar has this little bar, and sometimes we call it the green bar, okay? And if you mouse over it or hover over it, while you're on a page, up will come some value between 0 and 10. Okay, PageRank is logarithmic. It's not linear. So a PageRank 4 is way better, way more than 2 times better than a PageRank 2 site. Okay? But also realize that as you're using this Google toolbar, it's not the best tool in the world. Okay? I'll harken back to the corporate world because I was in it for a while. If a publicly traded company releases its earnings, how many times a year? 4. About how many times does Google update the toolbar? About 4 times a year. And then it takes a couple of weeks for those public companies to get all the work done, crunch the numbers. Right? So by the time you see the results, they're old. Okay, they're old. And then you don't get any more communication for another 90 days after that. Well, the Google toolbar is the same way. Okay? They're only updating about 4 times a year. They don't even give you the dignity of telling you when they're going to do it or when they have done it. Okay, and by the time it does come out, it's already dated information. But as bad as it is, it's all we got. It's kind of like being stuck in the middle of a dark forest, and you got this faulty flashlight, and it doesn't work a lot. You're doing this. But we do it anyway, because once in a while it flickers on and it works, and you're so happy, right? So, just remember with the Google toolbar, it's probably most accurate at the higher ends because it's so hard to get those higher PageRank scores. It's far less accurate at the low ends, okay? And that PageRank really, in Google's eyes, is building all the time, okay? If it wasn't, a PageRank 0 site couldn't really rank, could it? But they do. And I can show you later where it does. So just realize that it's really an ongoing process. You just can't see it going on all the time. So PageRank is one way to judge how good a site might be perceived in Google's eyes. There are whitelisted sites, but unfortunately no published list. But here's what we do now. We know the biggest directories, the oldest directories are probably the best directories in Google's eyes. DMOZ, DMOZ.org. Okay, this is a free directory. Darn hard sometimes to get in. I have about a 50% success ratio, by the way. The golf collection is not in there. I can't figure that out. But it's free, so you might as well try anyway. Okay? That is a very high authority site, no matter what subject matter. Okay? You want to try to get a link from DMOZ. Yahoo directory. It's a paid directory, but it pulls a lot of weight with Google. Okay, it costs you $300 a year to get a listing, but you can get in. That's the good news. So those are some good directories. The other way to determine what else might be a good directory to be in is to look at Google backlinks. What does it pick up regularly and show? I spend a lot of time looking at backlinks on lots of sites. And so I'm making it easy on you. One of my handouts is actually a list of what I believe are Google whitelisted directories with the cost to get in them, if there's a cost, or free if they're not. Okay? If you've been around for a while and you got some pretty good rankings, well, great. You're probably in most of these. If you're not in all of them, I'd sure go get in the rest of them. And if you're just starting out, this is where I'd start out.